years ago, I visited the ruins of Ephesus. And if you've been there, you know that this is an incredible place. Walking around the excavations, you get a sense of what an amazing city this once was. White marble roads, impressive irrigation systems, the artificial harbor, the arenas sitting thousands of people with perfect acoustics, the Temple of Artemis, one of the 7 wonders of the ancient world, the iconic library, and the lavish villas covered with beautiful mosaics. At its peak, this was the Dubai of its day, a vibrant high-tech city, a place where human ingenuity met human greed. And it was into this setting that Paul arrived in around AD 53. For almost 3 years, he lived amongst the Ephesians, and it became the most fruitful period of his ministry. But success only came once he shifted his teaching from the synagogue to the lecture hall of Tyrannus, from one platform to another, from one media technology to another. Now, it seems like Paul's motivation for this move to the new venue was his frustration with his fellow Jews, but it enabled him to engage with a larger and different crowd. And as a result, the gospel went viral across Asia Minor. Acts 19:10 says, "This went on for 2 years, so that all the Jews and Greeks who lived in the province of Asia heard the word of the Lord." Now, Paul probably wouldn't recognize this as a change in media technology. But we know from other references that he was fully aware that different kinds of context requires different kinds of engagement. And it leads us to consider the cultural impact of technology for missions. Whilst technology is tools that extend human capacity, technology is also culture. Now, to begin with, technological innovation is steeped in the culture of its innovators. Technological artifacts, then, are themselves culture bearers, value-laden symbols. And as we adapt and negotiate the technology, we create the environments. It creates the environments in which we live, communicate, think, and pray. Missional thinking and living in digitalized societies, therefore, require us to go beyond the utilitarian tools mindset towards a culture paradigm. According to the latest figures, the world's 5 billion internet users spend on average 7 hours online every day. And this is just one way in which the digital is deeply intermeshed with the lives of an increasing proportion of the global population. Digital devices, platforms, and services present, in Angela Gurrell's words, glorious opportunities and profound brokenness. But whether we like it or not, whether we use the technology or not, we cannot escape the reality of digital culture. The digital is our Ephesus. So what missional frameworks can assist us in this context? Well, I suggest a missiology of indwelling. If the gospel is redemptive, we need to cultivate the practice of indwelling the worlds that we create through our technologies. So to give you an idea of what I have in mind, we can think of the process of making a home. When we move into a house, we inherit a building, a technology that comes with certain limits that actually shape our living environment. But as we begin living there, we start indwelling the house. We might beautify it by changing the colors of the walls, or knocking out a wall to let in a bit more light. We furnish it with further technologies that are both practical, such as our furniture, but also have sentimental value to us, such as our pictures. And we start creating memories there. And as we do this, it becomes more than just a building. It takes on a symbolic value. When we authentically indwell the world of this technology, it becomes our home. If it's a place of positive experiences, where good relationships are formed, food is shared, and perhaps prayers have been said, it becomes a safe haven. A missiology of indwelling suggests that if we inhabit, cultivate, and shape digital spaces and cultures, we can create hospitable environments where something of the divine can be encountered. Secondly, this requires a missiology of indwelling, of imagination. If technology is culture, then we need imagination to translate the gospel into new contexts that it gives rise to. We cannot simply understand digital platforms as to be used to different ends, but we need to envision how the transformative power of the gospel can be realized through digital language, symbols, and practice. And finally, as my friend Steve Taylor suggests, we need to develop a missiology of the mundane or the ordinary. As the excitement about new dazzling innovation wanes, the technology quickly becomes part of our background lives. Think about how the smartphone has become taken for granted part of life. But it's here, in the everyday, that glimpses of the gospel can be found, in the messaging or words of encouragement to a struggling friend, in the testimony on social media feed that the gospel can shine through. I've given some pointers towards what missional living in digital cultures might require. We don't choose the times that we live in, but we can seek to cultivate the spaces that we inherit to make them a little bit more livable, a bit more humane, and a little bit more in sync with the kingdom of God. Please join me this afternoon so we can unpack this a little bit further. Thank you.